What's going on YouTube? So car prices and gas prices both keep increasing rapidly, but today we might have the antidote to that. This is the all-new Corolla Cross Hybrid.
And we want to know, does its great fuel economy and affordable price tag mean this is a great new SUV for you to buy?
Let's go ahead and find out. All right, so let's kick things off under the hood because that is the first place that's obviously different with the hybrid version. So we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with a lithium-ion battery pack, part of the new 5th generation hybrid system. Total system output on this is going to be 196 horsepower, which is up quite substantially over the gas-powered model with 169 horsepower.
It's routed to the ground via an eCVT. You do have standard all-wheel drive on the Corolla Cross Hybrid, and your fuel economy is an impressive 42 miles a gallon combined, which is up 12 MPG over the regular Corolla Cross.
But of course, we're going to take this out on the road. But first, let's go ahead and close up the hood and take a look at the exterior. I'm no weatherman. I'm not Jim Cantore from the Weather Channel. I'm just Drew Hardesty from Car Confections, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Corolla Cross Hybrid. As you can see, it is not very nice weather today in San Diego, but the show must go on. Let's talk about what we have. With this model, the hybrid models are going to be very different looking from the regular gas-powered models. So they're going to come in sport grades only. That's S, SE, and XSE. And you can tell right off the bat, it's very obvious what's different about this. We have a lot more of an aggressive face, a lot less trucky looking. So you have the body color elements up here at the top, the wide lower fascia with the gloss black accents that go all around. We also have a blacked out Toyota badge in the front. Now, as we come over here to the headlights, these are pretty much the same as the regular gas-powered Corolla Cross. So they're going to be LED across the entire lineup. We have the premium LED arrangement since this is the XSE version. And then down at the bottom, we also have LED fog lamps. Now, when it comes to the rear design of the Corolla Cross Hybrid, you're not going to notice as many changes as the front. It's fundamentally the same kind of look, which is pretty handsome.
Yeah, I like the way this Corolla Cross looks. And as far as some of the design elements, we do have a blacked out spoiler up top, exposed rear wiper, and let's check out our tail lights and see if all the elements are LED on this Corolla Cross Hybrid. So we do have an LED brake light, incandescent reverse light, but we do have an LED turn signal indicator. All of the accenting is also going to be LED. This is the more premium version of the taillight that you get on the XSE trim level of the Corolla Cross Hybrid. I like the way the taillight looks, and 2 out of 3 elements being LED is not bad whatsoever. Now, as far as some other things I want to point out, we do have blacked out branding since we do have the hybrid model. That's standard on every single hybrid. And then dropping down to the lower area, you're going to have a more aggressive diffuser because, of course, you're going to be racing your Corolla Cross Hybrid, so you need it to look aggressive. And then you're not going to have any exhaust pipes exposed. It's going to be hidden right underneath of the right side.
Next up, let's go ahead and take a look at our wheel options. On the hybrid versions, you're going to have a standard 17-inch alloy wheel. But one way you'll know you have the fully loaded XSE is you'll have these 18-inch contrast alloy wheels, which I think look very nice with the overall paint scheme on this red example. Now, as we come up here to our mirrors, you'll see we have LED turn signal indicators. These are also going to be heated, and we have blind spot monitoring on the SE trim level and above.
Now, at the side of the Corolla Cross Hybrid, you're going to see a very similar design to what you see on the regular Corolla Cross, as you would expect, although it is slightly longer than the regular Corolla Cross model because we have slightly different bumper designs, since this is the sportier version of the Corolla Cross. 176.8 inches is your overall length, which is about 5 inches shorter than a Toyota RAV4. Now, as far as some of the design elements, you will notice that we have a 2-tone roof option. That's available on SE and XSE grades, and I really like the way this looks. This is absolutely a good-looking small crossover. It's available in several different paint schemes, so you can get a different color than red if you prefer that. And I also like that they've thrown in this chrome piece that goes above the windows, and you do even have a nice Corolla Cross branding right there in the side. Now, I also want to mention your safety systems for this Corolla Cross Hybrid, because that's another very important element for a small SUV like this. Toyota's including Safety Sense 3.0 standard on every single Corolla Cross Hybrid model, which does include your 4 major active safety systems, including adaptive cruise control, and that's going to be standard on every single trim level, which is certainly a nice touch for a more affordable SUV like this. Well guys, it's rainy here in San Diego, so let's go ahead and check out the interior of this Corolla Cross Hybrid.
So since the hybrid starts with the S trim level, it does have a little bit more standard equipment than the L version of the Corolla Cross Hybrid. So we do have standard smart entry. And that means you can just reach behind the handle and it will automatically unlock the door for you. We'll go ahead and take a quick look inside the cabin here. It is pretty much the same as you've seen with the previous version of the Corolla Cross. Now let's start off by talking about interior color and material options. So we do have fabric seating on your S and your SE trim levels. When you go for the XSE trim level, you are gonna get this Softex leatherette. As you can see, nice design to this with the stitching details here in the middle. You can also get this, in addition to the black option, a black option with some blue accenting. As far as the seats, they're gonna be 10-way power adjusting on all but the base model. But let's go ahead and climb inside. Now this, of course, is a more affordable model, but the materials in here are still pretty nice. Across the armrest portion, we do have a leather material. Also, all 4 windows are one-touch automatic, and our top part of the door trim here is soft touch with a stitching detail. The upper parts of the dashboard, these are going to be a hard touch plastic with a texture, but the middle sections are going to be soft touch as well with the same stitching detail, and then everything in here does feel really solid and well put together. But let's go ahead and start it up with the standard push-button start. Now obviously this cabin is by and large the same as the Corolla sedan as well as the gas-powered Corolla Cross. However, we do have some differences. One of the differences I want to point out right from the start here is our gauge cluster arrangement. So this is a 7-inch multifunction display. We have these special graphics though because this is a hybrid, of course, and it tells you when it's in EV mode and what percentage it's operating under EV power. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, we have a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. It's going to be standard on every version of the hybrid, and it is manual tilt and telescoping. Taking a look at interior storage, that of course is important for any type of crossover utility vehicle. Our console here is going to be definitely a little tight, not a ton of space, but we do have a felt lining inside. You also have a USB-C connection and a 12-volt outlet. We've got 2 large cup holders in front of this, and then a lot of you guys will be happy to know that you do have a wireless phone charging pad on the vast majority of the models up here in the front. Coming back to the shifter, nice traditional style unit. Just pull back for drive, bump to the left if you want to shift through some simulated gear changes manually, and we have paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well. And then when we head into reverse, you are going to have a standard backup camera. We do have the version with front and rear parking sensors because we have the XSE and it also has the active trajectory. Now, right above the shifter, you'll notice this panel where we have another USB-C connection. We also have our heated seats. These are going to be included on the XSE trim level with the 2 modes. Above, we also have automatic climate. That's going to be included actually on every single version of the Corolla Cross Hybrid. It's just going to be single zone on S and SE, dual zone automatic on this XSE trim level. Right above that as well, we do have a volume knob. So we have a couple different sound systems you can pick from. Every single version is going to come standard with 6 speakers, but we have the optional 9-speaker JBL sound system. And let's give that a sample right now. But overall sound quality of this system is quite good. Now let's talk about the display though, because of course everybody cares a lot about technology and we're definitely seeing some upgrades in this regard. This is Toyota's new multimedia infotainment system. So right now what you're looking at is the wireless Android Auto system, and you also have wireless Apple CarPlay. That's going to be standard on every version of the hybrid because every version of the hybrid comes with the 8-inch display. Now I'm going to go into Toyota's infotainment system, give you a look at what that is like. It's just like all the other Toyota models we've shown off. So you on this model have the built-in navigation, which looks quite nice as well. And then you've got all your simplified functions just kind of floating over there. But the thing I really noticed is the resolution is really a big step up from what the Corolla was previously offering. Taking a look up here, we've got an auto dimming mirror. Doesn't have the home link remotes on it though. LED lighting. Wrong button. There we go, there's our sunroof. So this is gonna be included on the XSE.
So let's go ahead and talk about this Corolla Cross's rear seat. Now, of course, you're not going to see massive differences over the gas-powered version of the Corolla Cross, which does mean that we're going to have a decent amount of space back here. Now, we're looking at 32 inches of legroom, 39.1 inches of headroom. The headroom is particularly impressive. I'm not too big of a guy, but I'm 5'9", and there's still a lot of space between my head and the ceiling. So certainly someone who's pretty tall can fit back here. Now the legroom, 32 inches is pretty small for the segment. That's going to be less than the Honda HR-V. And I did bring my bendy ruler to rainy California, and we're looking at about 4 inches of knee space between my knees and Drew's seating position, who is 5'8". Now, as far as some of the features are concerned, here in the center, we're going to have standard vents. That's a really nice feature that I didn't expect to see on a vehicle of this price tag, to have standard vents on every single trim level. Down below that, we're also going to have 2 USB-C ports that are also lighted. No heated rear seats are offered on the Corolla Cross, so do be aware of that. We have a fold-down central armrest with cup holders inside. And then turning to our door trim, it's going to be pretty nice. Hard touch on the upper part, but we do have a leather padding on the lower areas, a bottle holder in the front, but you don't have any storage down below that. Now, walking up to the tailgate of the Corolla Cross, I do want to point out that we have a Power One on this fully loaded Corolla Cross XSE model. I'm not really sure what the trim breakdown is on that. Toyota hasn't really supplied us with that information just yet. Now, as far as the space is concerned back here, we're looking at 21.5 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If I reach up here and fold them down, we're looking at 69 cubic feet of cargo capacity. So that's a really good amount of space, guys. I mean, that's only a few cubic feet shy of the Toyota RAV4, and the RAV4 is one of the largest in its segment. So this Corolla Cross Hybrid has a lot of utility for anything you're gonna need, especially for a smaller footprint SUV. Now, of course, like I mentioned, there are no handles back here, but you can just reach up and fold it. It's a pretty small crossover, so that's easy to do. It is 60/40 split folding. We're also going to have a cargo cover integrated above that, LED lighting on the side. And then if we lift up the cargo floor in here, no spare tire. You're just going to have a fix-a-flat kit back here. And I do want to pull out my measuring tape and get our amount of space between the front seat back and the rear of the cargo area. We're looking at about 66 inches. So I'd say you're probably good to put like a 50-inch flat screen TV in the Corolla Cross's cargo area. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the all-new Corolla Cross Hybrid. Obviously, we're pretty excited to drive this because not only is this the most efficient Corolla Cross, it's also the most powerful Corolla Cross. So it's a double whammy there. In this test drive, we'll be talking about a lot of different things, doing our accelerations, driving dynamics. We'll also get our signature Car Confections sound level reading, as you can see. And let's go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
There we go. So like Mason said, this is the most powerful version of the Corolla Cross. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that this is a super powerful machine, but it does have pretty good power for this type of vehicle. 196 horsepower, which is up quite a bit from the 169 that the standard gas-powered model makes. And this is all part of Toyota's new 5th generation hybrid system. So we've got the 2-liter 4-cylinder, and then you have the lithium-ion battery pack to make that total system power.
Yeah, and you know, as we've been driving it today, it just honestly it feels pretty good. I mean, really nothing in this segment at all is powerful. That's for
sure. Some things are extremely slow.
Right. So this is definitely one of the upper end in the segment, and it honestly just doesn't feel too bad in general. It's not even going to be that much less powerful than the RAV4 hybrid, which comes in at 219 horsepower. So you're only losing about 20 horsepower over that. So I think it really is going to impress most people if you're buying in this segment.
Now with this hybrid system, you do have an eCVT as your transmission, and Mason mentioned it earlier at the spec dump, but this does have standard all-wheel drive because you have a rear electric motor, which is actually why earlier, since the road is wet, put my foot down, we had the tiniest amount of wheel span from the front wheels because we had to wait just that tiny amount of time for that rear electric motor to kick in the power to the rear wheels as well.
Woo! Knocks me back in my seat. I mean, but all jokes aside, this thing goes 0 to 60 in 8 seconds.
Yeah, I mean
that's way faster than the Honda HR-V. Way faster.
And this is more than enough, especially when you consider the instantaneous electric torque that gets you off the line. It really feels spiffy, guys. It really does.
But now we're just kind of cruising along on the interstate here. I want to talk about your ride quality for the Corolla Cross. Now, the ride quality I've been pretty impressed with. We do have large wheels since we have the XSE trim level, and overall I think the ride is nice. The seats are comfortable. We've hit a few bumps in the road. It's definitely all that I would expect from this segment. It might even be a little bit better than the average thing in this segment.
We're also going to go ahead and get a sound level reading. Now do keep in mind we are on a highway here in California.
Yeah. All right, so settling in there at 61.9 decibels. That's obviously not as quiet as it would test back at home in Kentucky. We are on a wet California freeway, so that's kind of a lot of different things going against it there. That does make it test a little bit louder than the Honda HR-V. That's one of the loudest that we've tested in the segment, but like I said, I would reserve your opinion of how loud this vehicle is until we can get it back home in Kentucky to fully test out what it's like back at our home test roads.
Now, of course, I would say it is safe to say that this is louder than something like a RAV4 hybrid.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a subcompact vehicle, so they do have to cost cut on certain elements, and typically in this segment, it's a louder segment than the compact just because of that.
As far as the power handoff between EV and gas, it is fantastic. Buttery smooth. You expect that from Toyota. They've been doing hybrids for so long, and this is no different.
Now, I do want to talk about your fuel economy for the Corolla Cross Hybrid. I mentioned it at the spec download here, but 45 is your city rating, 38 is your highway rating, and that makes for an overall combined rating of 42 miles per gallon. Now, we do have standard all-wheel drive, so that means that's your only fuel economy rating for the Corolla Cross Hybrid, which is very impressive. That's better than the RAV4 Hybrid, and
it's best fuel economy in this class of crossovers.
And it's plus 12 over the regular Corolla Cross model. So I definitely would opt for the hybrid. I think that's the much better setup because you get more power and better fuel economy, and we'll just go ahead and declare that the slam dunk today is just the fuel economy on this model. That's really exceptional for the segment. A lot don't offer a hybrid at all, and honestly in this segment you might as well get good fuel economy because they're not going to be super fast or anything, so I think that saving money on gas is a really big benefit. And as far as our airball is concerned, I think today it's got to be just the fully loaded price tag. I preface that by saying that I just wouldn't go for this fully loaded Corolla Cross XSE because this one's coming in a little over $35,000, which is a pretty steep price for what you're getting in terms of luxury in this cabin, especially when you compare it to something like a Mazda CX-30. You're going to get a lot more luxury for
or just the RAV4 hybrid.
Yeah.
You know, once you get to this price point, I would rather have a RAV4 hybrid.
And lastly here, I do want to talk about your warranty. Toyota Signature Warranty applies here, 3-year 36,000 miles for your basic warranty, 5-year 60,000 miles for your powertrain warranty, and you're also going to get 2 years of complimentary maintenance. Now, how much is this Corolla Cross Hybrid going to cost? Well, Toyota has released the base price, and it's going to be $27,970 for the S trim level. Now, do keep in mind, the Corolla Cross Hybrid comes standard with all-wheel drive. So if you compare that to the base starting point for an L Corolla Cross in gas form, it's about $23,000 plus all-wheel drive is $1,300. So really not that big of a price premium for going for this hybrid model, and you're also getting more equipment on the base S trim level. Now, if you go up the trim structure, SE is going to be $29,290 and XSE is $31,065. Now, this particular model here today does start at that $31,000 price point. We also have $3,000 worth of options and $1,335 destination, brings this one to $35,565 as tested. Now, if you're curious as to when this vehicle will be on sale, Toyota says this will be on sale June of this year. But guys, that's going to wrap up our in-depth review of this all-new 2023 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. We, of course, have enjoyed spending some time with this Corolla Cross because a lot of you guys are probably very interested in buying a vehicle in this segment. So if we helped you out, please pay us back by hitting that subscribe button down below. It's completely free to you, and all it's going to do is give you a few notifications on some of our most recent content. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Also, go ahead and check out our TikTok and Instagram pages, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.